Hello everyone, welcome to Lord of the Coins. Today we're going to be going over a kind of a macro update and a short-term update on Bitcoin. But before we get started, I wanted to give a quick shout out to my Discord. We do live trade callouts where the community is making great profits together. We have some members doing up to 55k in a session, and other members making huge profits off our trades as well. I also stream every morning during New York session, trading either the 1 to 10k challenge, our trade callouts, or just doing some Q&A as well. We also give daily market updates and important information regarding economic conditions. So come join our community of like-minded people and grow as a trader with us. So a lot of metrics came out this past week on inflation and unemployment. Unemployment kind of relatively the same, as you can see. Inflation kind of going down. The thing is, core inflation is still going up. And if you guys watched the FOMC meeting, Jerome Powell pretty much said that they still have ways to go in reducing inflation. Along with that, the UK, they said they're going to be in recession till, probably like even halfway through 2024. So the macro is looking pretty bad, and Bitcoin's never really been through a recession before, so we don't really know how the entire crypto space will act during the recession. But yeah, that's something that we're just gonna have to see. 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP is technically considered a recession, but the house right now, they're trying to kind of redefine it with unemployment, which kind of makes sense because if unemployment is still low, the economy is still relatively doing okay, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see how the whole crypto space is gonna act. If you take a look at the SPY right now, we're on a downtrend. We're just setting lower lows and lower highs. We're just kind of going down. But if you pair this against unemployment too, let's kind of zoom out to the weekly here. You can see that when unemployment's going up, this is going down. And we kind of see a little curve in unemployment right now. So if we see some sort of like movement up of unemployment, we're definitely going to see some movement down of the markets as well. We also map this against the DXY. You can see that DXY is kind of coming down as well, which means that we might see a little pump in the markets. But there are some supply zones here for SPY, which is a little concerning. And even if we see a little down move in the DXY, I think we'll still see some moves up, which means in the SPY, we'll still set a lower high and then we'll end up coming back down here. So this is kind of like what I'm looking at in terms of macroeconomics, and I can see just a bit of a longer bear market going on. So pretty much, how is this going to translate to crypto? In my opinion, I don't think the crypto asset can move up until the US equity markets also move up. But like I said, the crypto markets have never really been through a recession before, so we're just gonna have to see how they act. Now for a kind of a short-term outlook on Bitcoin. We were kind of in this range here, kind of broke out of it into this range right here. Now we also broke out of this. This is really reminiscent of kind of like a power of 3 pattern. So what I mean by that is we're probably going to see something like this into kind of coming down. This is kind of like what I'm assuming. So let's just go ahead and kind of mark out some levels here. So we have a zone of demand right here. It's known as a bearish order block, and since it's bearish, I'm going to mark it red. And we're on the 4-hourly, so we'll call this the H4. We'll just call it H4 OB. We also have this fair value gap that exists right here. That really hasn't been filled. So I'll just mark that out with a line. We'll also mark out this level right here. Call that a key level. We also have the zone of demand right here, which is another bearish order block. And then we have another key level up here. So these are kind of the levels I'm looking at the moment. So the reason that we're also going up is because we turn on the VWAP here on the monthly, you can see that we've just been kind of finding support on the monthly VWAP after we went up. And usually, if you find support on the monthly VWAP, you see kind of bigger moves up. We kind of found support on the bottom of the monthly VWAP here, and then boom, another movement up. I can see price. So we're kind of just in the weekend range right now, which is kind of between the Friday open and Friday close. And we're probably gonna find support on the monthly VWAP again and see another move up here. And that'll be, in line with the theory of, moving kind of in this pattern. So I'm gonna go over to the daily chart here. We can see that, if I just kind of draw over this right here, that's the first move, the second move, we're going to see the third move. This is just kind of like my short-term outlook on Bitcoin. This is kind of what I'm expecting to happen. Of course, this doesn't have to happen, but we are in this macro range right here with the range high being around like 25K. So we definitely could reach somewhere up here within the demand zone up here. So that is very possible as well. So I'm gonna get rid of this drawing, it's a little hard to see. So yeah, I mean, we can even take a fib from the top here to the bottom. You can see that these levels are really in line with like the golden pocket and between the 0.65 and the 0.786 fib, which is a very confluent zone for price to go back to. On top of that, this fair value gap that exists on this candle right here hasn't really fully been filled either. This candle really only goes to around here, so we might end up filling up this entire fair value gap, kind of fill up this H4 order block and maybe come back down. It might kind of spike up to this daily order block and come back down. So like these three options are kind of like what I'm looking at right now. I highly doubt we'll break out of this range. I don't think we'll break out of this range until the Fed pivots. Yeah, that's just kind of what I'm looking at. If retail kind of trades this at the double bottom, we'll probably hit rejection off this, maybe a wick above to grab liquidity. Might see like a spike of a wick right here, come straight back down. But yeah, I mean, these are kind of the scenarios I'm looking at for Bitcoin. I'm still leaning relatively bearish just because of the macroeconomic conditions, but we're just gonna have to really just kind of wait and see how crypto plays out. If you look at the weekly VWAP here too, let's see. Yeah, it's relatively the same. We got kind of pinched in this VWAP here. And usually when you get pinched, you see volatile movements. Yeah, let's see. So the previous range POC is kind of up here, kind of near this demand zone right here as well. So we have a bullish demand zone right here. So if anyone's kind of looking to get into longs here, you know, these are kind of the two zones I'd be looking for price to retrace through. This is kind of the VWAP band here too. You know, I can see price doing that, price doing that. If you want to try to catch a long, let's see. Oops. We're gonna take the fib from the bottom to the high. Yep, that's pretty in line with the golden pocket right here as well. So this might be a decent kind of area to kind of eye for longs. You know, previous range POC, fib is lining up, VWAP's lining up. This is a pretty confluent area, so that's something you could probably look for as well. So yeah, this is kind of the theory I'm just kind of playing off of. Yeah, overall, I'm still kind of bearish on the market. You know, this is definitely accumulation, so if smart money's accumulating here, I'm looking to also accumulate here. We definitely could see lower prices as well. There's a lot of relatively equal lows, and if you know anything about how, you know, I trade, if you watch any of my other videos, relatively equal lows are just pockets of liquidity. You know, and pockets of liquidity just want to get swept. This is just money for market makers to take. So I'm highly under the impression that before we make a larger move up, when the Fed pivots, we are going to sweep these before we do. Like I said, if equal lows get swept, if you kind of zoom out here, you're going to see that we have equal lows going all the way back to December 2020. So yeah, we're definitely, I'm pretty convinced that we're going to see lower prices here. Of course, could be wrong. This is just my best prediction on the markets, and this is kind of what I'm going to hedge against. So let me clean up the charts a little bit. Let me go back to the 4-hour. So yeah, this is kind of just my outlook on Bitcoin. It's kind of a little impromptu video. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. And make sure to join my live streams in the morning as well, because, you know, those are good Q&A sessions as well. You can ask me questions. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.